Hello, Winnie.
Hello, Nicholas.
Can I ask you some really hard questions this semester because you're so good now?
Easy. Well, it seems Winnie is the, okay, we have three coming, 3 students. They were here last semester.
Okay, that's good.
Anyway, now, Nicholas, so you don't have any problem uploading file, right?
No, I don't.
Because
No, I don't.
Okay, great.
Okay. Winnie, you can do the first one.
Yes.
What is 1.92 multiplied by 4.31? Now, when you do this one, somebody who's never owned property before but is now buying, what they call a first-time buyer, a first-time owner, a new host, or a new buyer.
A first-time buyer.
Good. What's the difference between a buyer and an owner?
The owner is they have the money, but the buyer they pay the money. Is right.
Which is best?
Buyer.
Do you want to be a buyer, not an owner?
I like to be the owner.
Yes, I'd like to be an owner too. Thank you, Winnie. Actually, Winnie, what does a host mean?
I'm don't sure.
Okay, that's all right. Joe, hello. Joe, hello. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Joe.
Hello.
Do you know what a host is?
Somebody prepare a party like that.
That's correct. Do you like being a host or a guest?
No. I'm very lazy.
Yes. Joe, where are you from?
Huh?
Where are you from?
From Taiwan.
Okay, what part?
Huh? What part? Taiwan.
Oh, Taiwan. Okay. And what are you studying?
I'm studying English.
Yeah.
Nicholas, this class is all
MIS.
MIS.
Like MIT. Okay. All right, Joe. Thank you. Jenny. Sorry, Jen. Jerry, not Jenny.
Hi.
Sorry, Jerry. I was calling you Jenny. Jerry, if you already own a property, but you're planning to sell it and buy a new, better one, you're moving up what? The property ladder, the ownership steps, ownership stairs, or property steps? Jerry, don't worry if you get the answer wrong. I wouldn't expect you to know this unless you've seen it. There's no problems here with getting things wrong. It's mainly to make you talk. Need an answer. Joe Changi, can you help Jerry? Joe?
Hello?
Hello, Joe. Can you help
Hey.
in giving the answer to this?
Maybe I will choose the second one, but I don't know each of the.
You've got. Okay, that's not correct.
But I don't know actually.
So which have another go.
I can't hear you. I can't hear.
Have another try. Huh?
那个大家
No, somebody. There's an open. There's an open microphone somewhere. This is what does this. It's not at my end, so I don't think. Just a minute. Is that any better?
Okay.
Any better?
Yeah, much better. So
All right, I
we're
just
on-
switched off all my microphones apart from this one. It may have been my
Okay.
fault. I apologize. All right, Joe Changi. Joe Chang. Does anybody know the answer to this? Is it property ladder, ownership stairs, or property steps? Which one? Anybody? Just type it in here. Winnie, can you remember?
is property ladder. I'm not sure.
Ladder. Property ladder, that's right. Winnie, what's a ladder? What is a ladder?
How do when you go to a staircase.
What's a ladder?
If you want to go to the second floor, you have to walk on.
Yeah, that's right. You have to climb up a ladder. Now, do you wear stockings? Do you ever wear stockings?
Nicholas, how do you ask?
Do you ever wear stockings?
No.
No. All right. What are they?
Nicholas, which question
Yeah.
is the
All right. Winnie, can you hear me?
No. It's too...
The sound. Winnie, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Winnie, what are stockings?
What are stockings? What are stockings? 这是什么？他问我什么是I seldom wear it.
Yeah, but what are they for? Why do people wear them?
Be sexy. Be more pride or pretty. Or be more
So
sexy.
be more pretty or also more formal at work. So now, wait a minute. What's that, Winnie? So what's this?
There is a rung on your stocking.
Okay, you're right. It's called a rung. It's also called a ladder.
Oh.
Why do you think it's called a ladder in the stocking?
Because it's like ladder.
That's right. It's like a ladder, and you can climb up it if you're so inclined. Thank you, Winnie. Right. Alan.
我看不到的荧幕。
Can you hear me, Alan?
Oh, hi. Yes.
Okay. Do you wear stockings?
No.
I'm glad to hear it. Good. We have some strange men in Australia that do.
Oh.
Okay. Alan, prices have got so high they couldn't get any higher, and something bubble has burst, balloon has bursted, or glass has broken. So which do you think it is? Alan, can you hear me?
Hello, hello. Oh, yes.
Yeah, all right. Which do you think do you think of these is correct? It means that prices have come down very quickly.
I choose the second answer.
All right. This tense is wrong. We don't say bursted, so
Wrong.
the answer is that one. To burst is the
Oh,
answer of
okay.
burst. So it's to burst, the bubble has burst, and it can be past or present. Okay? So that is the answer, number one. Thank you, Alan. Daniel.
Hi.
Daniel, what is this?
它是什么？哪个东西？A bed.
Right, correct. What sort of bed? Use an adjective.
那你们两个要想有什么区别
它是什么？
？Big Joe，
它是什么
谁要说 Big Joe 就行了。
？Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah. Always read down here. What sort of bed is it? Use an adjective to describe it. All right, Daniel. What's the opposite of single? Yeah, I know. What's the opposite of single? So Daniel, this is not a single bed. What is it? What's the opposite of single? Yeah, not single. All right. Now put it in one word. What's the opposite word to single? And you need to say it.
Hey.
What? Yes, it's comfortable, and yes, it's not single, but what's the opposite word to single? Begins with D and ends in E. It's got O-U-B-L-E in the middle. Yes. Daniel, you need to talk, not text. So Daniel, how many people can sleep in a double bed?
Maybe 3.
Oh, 3, all right. Usually 2, but yeah, 3 if there's more. Thank you.
1. 不可以问。
Yes. Sylvia.
Hi. Hi, Nicola.
Hello, Sylvia. If you don't have enough money to buy a property outright, you may need to take out... Do you know what that means if you buy something outright?
I don't know.
All right. It means that you buy it completely. You pay the whole amount. Okay?
Okay.
Right, so if you buy a property outright, you can't buy it because you don't have enough money. What do? Take out a loan, credit, hire purchase, or mortgage. There is a particular word here that means to do with houses.
I think it's loan.
All right, loan is grammatically correct, but there's a better word that is specific to houses. It means a loan for a house. That's right, mortgage. So a mortgage is a loan, but it's a loan that the bank or whatever gives you for a house. So it's spelt mortgage, but we say mortgage. So the T is silent. Okay? So mortgage. What sort of house is this? How would you describe it?
It's made by wood.
All right. I think it's brick, actually.
What?
And what is the other defining feature? That means a particular characteristic of the house, which tells you, so you've said, all right, it's brick. I know you can't see it very well, but it is brick. And what's the other thing in particular that helps you to describe it?
It's two stairs. Two-story.
That's right.
Two-story building.
Two-story house. That's correct. It's a two-story building. So a two-story big house. And otherwise it will be single-story. So that's what we often have here in Australia. So we often build a two-story brick house, or sometimes it's wood and sometimes it's just single. What's
Nicholas,
that called? The top bit of the house? Yeah.
is that also what is a townhouse like?
All right. A townhouse is usually smaller than a house, so it might be just 2-bedroomed, perhaps. You know, it's a small house. It may be joined to others as well, so there may be more than one together. But it's just a small house, and it's usually got a couple of bedrooms, but it's not as big as we call this. We actually call this a detached house. That means it's by itself. Townhouses are smaller, and we often say they're terraced. That means that if they're terraced, there's a group of them together. So there might be 3 built in a line. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, and they will be terraced. And that's the word we use to say. So this one is a detached house. It's by itself. Sylvia, which do you think is most expensive, a terraced house or a detached house?
Terraced house.
Why?
This has have the space, and you can more calm.
Yeah, this is a detached house, and it's more expensive because of what you said. It's got more land, it's bigger, and it costs more to make. Okay? The terraced houses, they're a little bit cheaper because they're on one bit of land and they're smaller. Okay? Sylvia, have you got a mortgage yet?
So can you say it again?
Yeah. Have you got a mortgage yet?
No, I haven't.
Have you got a car?
No.
All right. What have you got?
No, I have food.
Only for
She said, Nicholas, she said she doesn't have a bicycle or a motorcycle yet, but she got
Can you ride a
2
bike?
healthy feet.
Yes, I can.
Thank God. Okay, thank you. Tina.
Hi, teacher.
Hello. Tina, can you answer the next
Hello.
one, please? If the value of your property is less than the money you borrowed to pay for it, you are in a negative something situation. So in other words, if your property is worth $100,000, I'm talking about US dollars, not Taiwan. So if your property is $100,000 and you owe, say, $150,000, it's not good. So you're in a negative something situation. Equation, equality, equity, or equilibrium. Which one?
The first one.
No.
No.
3 to go.
The third one.
Yep.
Equality.
Good. Equity.
Equity. Equity. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
equity. So it means that you don't own your house and you own a lot of money. Now, what does equilibrium mean? Actually, no. What does equality mean? That's easier. So what's equality? Angela, I'm going to ask you what equilibrium means in a minute. So look it up. That's Angela's question. But your question, Tina, is what's equality? Tina?
Hi. It's equal in sexes and races.
Yes. That's right. All right. Do you think there is equality of men and women in Saudi Arabia?
No.
Why not? You're correct. Why not?
Girls have girls wear mask and cannot show their face.
That's correct. They call them a hijab. Or a burqa. Would you like to wear one of these?
Oh.
No. Okay. Do you think men and women are equal in Taiwan?
Maybe yes.
Okay. Why maybe?
Not every situation is equal.
Correct. Nice, good answer. Thank you, Tina. Sorry, thank you. Angela.
Hi.
Hello. What is equilibrium? What can you say it first?
Is kind of balance. Equilibrium.
Good. And yes, that's correct. Balance. Can you use it in a sentence?
Hmm? 造句. The world is not equilibrium state now.
All right, that's right. There's another use. So, Angela's equilibrium was upset when she was asked a question in English. So we sometimes use it to describe how people are feeling.
Oh.
And it's also used in physics. What's physics?
Your it's a sign.
Sky.
It's a kind of science.
Yes, kind of science, that'll do. I'll say the study of scientific principles. Okay, do you like physics? Did you do physics at school, Angela?
I hate it.
Do you think girls are better than boys at physics?
Some people.
Good. It's a good answer too. Some people say, oh, girls are no good. Your answer is very balanced. Because you said some girls are good and some guys are good and some are bad. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Kirsia.
Hey.
Hello. Am I saying your name right, Kirsia?
Maybe it's right.
Maybe it's right. Okay. That'll do. I'll just call you Chang. It's easier. Is that okay?
My yes.
Okay, Chang. Now, something is a recent term describing the situation when it's difficult to borrow money at low interest. What is low interest? Or low interest rate?
The second answer.
Yes. But what's a low interest rate? All right, Chang. If I give you you give me $100, and you're paying me 10%, or I'm paying you 10% interest. What does that mean? So if you lend me $100 and I pay you 10% interest, how much am I going to pay you back?
$110.
Correct, 110. Now, if I pay you 5%, you only get $5 back. So a low interest rate is 5%. A high interest rate is 10%. Right. So if you're borrowing money at low interest, is, as you said, it's because of a credit crunch. What's a crunch? If I crunch you, if you crunch a biscuit, what does that mean? If you crunch a biscuit, what does that mean?
Sorry, I don't know.
All right, you know what a biscuit is? Yes? No? Feedback's full?
Eating cookie.
All right. What do you have for breakfast in the morning? So, Chang, what do you eat for breakfast in the morning?
Sandwich.
All right. You're a good boy. What's that?
Cereal.
Can you spell it?
Cereal.
Nearly. C-E-R-E-A-L. And what's crunchy? Is it smooth?
No.
No, the opposite of smooth. Crunchy. Okay, so a credit crunch means the credit's gone, it's squashed. We're having a few problems with this sound again. What I'm doing is, Karen, I'm switching you off every so often, and it seems to improve the sound. I don't know what's wrong with it. We'll have to look at it later. Okay? All right. Now,
Nicholas.
Yeah.
Because we have construction work going on outside the classroom, so it's kind of a disturbance.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
I
that's
didn't
what
realize.
you heard.
Because I can hear it.
Yeah, so
I
you have
thought
to.
it was interference.
Yeah, so you have to speak louder and slower.
Okay. I shall go louder and slower. Now it's 20 past 10. Do you want to have a break, Pearl, or go on?
Why don't we take a break, okay?
Okay, let's have a break, 10 minutes, and then come back. Karen, could I have the token back, please? Okay. Now, somebody has reasonably asked me what is behind my seat. I had to look at it because I didn't know myself what was behind. But I've turned it round. Does anybody know what it is? Can anybody name it? This round thing with springs and something in the middle. Can anybody guess what it's called or what it's for or what it is? Why can't you see it, Winnie? Just a minute, I'll put a picture of it up, if I can. All right, that thing behind me.
Jumping bed.
Anybody? All right, that's a good guess. It's actually called a rebounder, it's like if it's a trampoline. What do I use it for? And don't say jumping. It's more specific.
Exercise.
Yes, that's right. They're quite good for exercise. I don't particularly like running outside, so particularly in the hot weather. So this is, they call it a rebounder. It's a small trampoline, and they're quite expensive if you get a good one. And you can run on them, carry weights, and even though it's low impact. What does that mean, low impact? Anyone? Winnie, what's low impact?
I 这是什么东西啊？这是什么东西？低中率是什么
That's right.
You can let the guy more soft.
That's right. Flower, you've got the right idea.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. So, do you think it's any use, Flower?
Can you please repeat again?
Yeah. Do you think this would be any good? Careful.
Oh, pretty well.
I can tell you it's very good. You can do a lot of exercise on this.
Mm-hmm.
Easy on your feet, feet and knees. You can watch TV while you're doing it, or a film, and and I can air condition the room so it's not hot, and I can use weights. Can you see those? So that's how I stay fit. I use a rebounder. I didn't know you could see it actually, but anyway, that's what it is. Okay, now we're going to try and do some listening. Just let me see if I can. Sometimes this doesn't work. Oh, here we are. That's all right. Now, the way this works is I upload a video to here, hopefully, and I hope you can all see it. Excuse me.
Do you want me to assign people to do these questions?
Yes, people. Yes, people.
Okay.
I called you people. Just a minute, I'll put the questions up so it's easy to see.
Okay. So we will see the video first,
Yeah.
or
No,
Oh.
look at the questions
So-
first.
okay.
Right. There's 9 questions.
Okay, all done.
All right. I don't think there's any words here that should be too hard. Just reading through them. If you don't understand any words for your question, could you make sure that you speak to Pearl or somebody just so you get the meanings? Now, you can start that video playing when you're ready, please, Karen. It's quite long, about 8 minutes, so be patient. It's about business in Taiwan. Okay. What are two statistics about Taiwan as an export market for the United States?
Hi. Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, but I didn't get the clear answer. I only know that Taiwan is one of the 9 something and 6 largest what? Sorry.
That's right. So it's the 9th largest trading partner and the 6th largest market for food and agricultural products. What's a trading partner?
Taiwan will sell things to America, and America will sell things to Taiwan.
That's right. Just a second, please. I'm just telling a few proper. Here we go. Why is just a second, I'll be back in 1 minute. Karen, can you hear me? Sorry. Can I have the token back, please?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Right, sorry about that. Right, Taiwan is important to the US as a trade destination and also for a second reason. What's the second reason?
We can do business with China.
That's right. So it's a jumping off point for business. What does jumping off point mean?
A bridge to China.
That's right, sort of a way to get there. So Taiwan's a small island, you can easily get to Taiwan. What proportion of US fruit imports are sold in wet markets?
%50.
Yep, half. 50%. Good. How are the people of Taiwan described in the video?
We are very friendly and it's awesome.
Is that true? Are you friendly and hospitable?
Yes.
That's good. Are you biased? Do you know what that means, biased?
Biased?
Biased.
I think we have a little because we.
Yeah, well, you're from Taiwan, so your opinion may be subjective. That means you think Taiwan's good because you live there. Okay, when Taiwanese business people offer to have dinner with you, why is that important?
Because they trust you.
Correct. And you're halfway to success in the Taiwan market, so trust is important. Why are round tables common in Taiwanese restaurants?
Because it's a tradition of Chinese culture.
Yeah, and people want to share. So if you stick things on, everybody can reach them. It's quite interesting. In the West, we tend not to share. We like our own meal. So it's more common to have your own meal in Australia, whereas in Asia it's more common to share in many dishes. What is Cao Liang made from?
Gao Liang is one that made from a lot of alcohol.
That's right, sorghum wine. Are you an alcoholic?
You have to take the balls up when you're eating rice.
Yes, but are you an alcoholic?
Oh, no.
I drink only a little, sometimes.
That's good. All right, thank you. What customs should you follow in eating rice?
You have to take the balls up when you're eating.
Always lift your bowl. Don't put your face to the bowl on the table. Why not? So why shouldn't you do that? I have no idea. I'm asking you.
Because it's only dogs is like that.
Yeah, sort of rude. Why should you not stick your chopsticks in the rice?
Because the Asian like we worship our ancestor. It is an impolite action.
Yeah, but it also means that you do this when you serve the dead, apparently. In the West, we don't have chopsticks. What do we have? So what do we use to eat for instead of chopsticks? Any idea?
Fork.
Yeah, we call it cutlery.
Fork, spoon.
Usually a knife and fork. Can you use a knife and fork?
Sometimes.
Which do you prefer, chopsticks or cutlery?
I prefer use chopsticks.
Because?
Because I can pick any food I like.
Yep, fair enough. Now we're going to do the second part of this video, I hope. just a... Oh, I'll just again put the questions up, Pearl. So this is a direct continuation. I chopped it in two because it was a bit long.
Okay, wait a minute.
Could
Give me a minute. Yeah, give
Yep,
me
can you
30
allocate that?
seconds. Okay, we're done.
All right. Just looking at the words. Boutique. What's a boutique store? Who haven't we asked a question? Nick. Hello. What's a boutique store?
Like where you sell the clothes?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's a place where they sell fashion items, usually expensive ones. Okay. Can you start that when you're ready? Thanks, guys. So, there are more designer and boutique stores in Taiwanese malls than in most American malls. What does this reflect?
Taiwanese like to shopping. Like shopping.
Yes. Sorry, wrong way. So there's Taiwan's buying power versus parity has increased. Parity is equality. So what it's saying is that since the 1990s and 2000s, Taiwanese people can now have enough money to buy things the same as America. So their buying power, that's the same as purchasing power, they've reached parity. Parity means equal. So both Taiwan and America have good economies and they can afford to buy things, especially women from designer and boutique stores because they love clothes. How many convenience stores are there in Taiwan? What are the main four types? And how many per person?
There are 9,600 stores in Taiwan, and the four types, 7-Eleven, Family Mart, High Life, and OK. And per store have maybe 2,400 people.
Yep, so 1 per 2,400. You have the highest number in the world, I'm told. Per person. Which supermarket chain intends increasing their fresh produce items in the future? You have to start again, you cut out.
Convenience stores.
Yeah, but which group?
2006.
Yes, but which PX Mart, so which chain? What's a supermarket chain? What does that mean? Supermarket chain. So what is a supermarket chain? Yes. So what's a supermarket chain?
The same. Just like McDonald's.
That's right, just like McDonald's. A group of supermarkets with the same name. So McDonald's chain, we have the PX Mart chain, we have 7-Eleven. It just means a group of supermarkets across the country all with the same name. So what world record did a new Costco Taichung hypermarket store achieve just before it opened?
2006.
You're really obsessed with 2006, aren't you? What does this answer say?
Huh? Pardon?
Read the answer. Out loud.
A worldwide record for a single Costco store with a total of over 100,000 membership cards being issued during the promotion for the opening of the new store.
Excellent answer. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What What is the main function of the Importers and Exporters Association of Taipei? How many members are there?
Wait.
Why?
Maybe 5,000.
Yeah, there's 5,000 members, and their function is...
Promoting trade in Taiwan.
That's right. What does that mean, promoting trade?
I don't know.
Well, what's trade?
Promoting trade. Helping.
Yep. That's right.
Helping. Yes, help selling U.S. products.
That's right. So helping people to trade or buy in Taiwan and America in this case. How do the ATO in Taipei assist in promoting the sales of U.S. goods?
I didn't hear it clearly, but I think Hello.
Yeah.
Helping Taiwanese retail stores conduct youth food and agriculture in-store promotions. And help hotels and restaurants to conduct menu promotion using U.S. ingredients.
Right. What is an in-store promotion? What does that mean, an in-store promotion?
Help us sell their goods.
Alright, where is an in-store promotion? Where does it take place?
Inside store.
Yeah, that's right, inside the store. And what's a menu promotion?
I don't know.
Alright, well it means you cook food using US ingredients. And therefore you promote US food. You encourage people to use US ingredients. What's an ingredient? In cooking, what's an ingredient?
Sugar. Sorry. Sugar. Butterfly in Africa.
Something you put in the cooking. What's your favorite food?
Huh?
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Fried chicken.
Right. Do you like it hot and spicy?
Sorry? You say again?
Yes, read here. Do you like it hot and spicy?
No. I can.
So you like it to be cool and not spicy?
I don't like spicy.
No, fair enough. So what makes food spicy? What ingredient makes food spicy? Don't say spicy.
Pepper.
Yeah, pepper, good. So pepper or chili. and so on. So, okay, thank you. And how do the ATO connect US exporters to buyers in Taiwan?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know.
You don't know, fair enough. All right, what are the three ways?
By providing importer lists, arranging meetings with potential Taiwan buyers, and organizing buyers' missions to the United States.
All right, now choose number 2 or 3. All right, now choose one of them, and you want to and explain it using your own words. Now, when I say explain it your own words, there's actually in English, it means paraphrasing. So paraphrasing means you describe it in your own words. So choose 1, 2, or 3 and tell me what it means in English, but you say it, don't read it.
Number 2.
Okay, go on.
They find Taiwanese buyer for you. Yeah. 安排你跟台湾的买方面。
You can may buy this product and ask the opinion.
Yeah. What does potential mean?
You may do this.
Yeah. So may. You're not must, but may do it. So Taiwanese buyers might buy American products, so they arrange meetings. Who with?
Hello.
Promising the buyer 嘛。
So who's meeting who? Taiwan buyers are meeting who?
Meeting the American seller.
That's right. They're American sellers. Yeah, they're meeting American sellers. That's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
The last question. What part of karaoke train trade between Taiwan and the US?
Because a trade is a nervous action, so karaoke can make atmosphere more relaxing.
That's right. They're more relaxed. Now, do you like karaoke?
Yes, I like.
All right.
But I'm not good at singing.
Now.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Thank you very much. That's what you say now. All right. So can we have a break? And then I'll just give a quick overview of the course.
Okay. Take a 10-minute break.
Just a few minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay, now I'm going to just give you a very brief overview of the course and where you can find things. I will give you more information in the weeks to come. If there are any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. You can either ask a question directly by saying it, or you can type it in the text area, or you can get Pearl or Karen to ask if you're shy. Now, this course is called Business and Current Affairs. It is partly to do with current global events. Current means which are happening now, now being within a few weeks, and global events are events around the world. It may be news. It usually has a business flavor, but it's business and current affairs. So current affairs are current global events. The general structure of a lesson is we start with a grammar or a vocabulary exercise of some description. So today we did vocabulary. Next week I might change it and do some grammar work with you. Then we do what I call a multimedia listening. So like you've done today, we'll have a movie or video with questions. That's the usual way. They may be short, they may be only a couple of minutes, or today they were 8 minutes each roughly. Sometimes they may be only 2 minutes if they're news. Depends on what they are. And then we'll do some reading. So we haven't done any reading today. There's not enough time because it's the first thing. But usually we have 3 hours with a break of around 10 minutes between each hour, roughly. So we've only got 25 minutes left this time, for example, and that may depend on how a particular class goes. Now, talking's important. I know you all love talking in Mandarin, but you've got to talk in English. So you're asked questions, try and answer it. We're not worried about making a mistake. It doesn't matter. We'll correct you if you make one, or we'll tell you the right answer. That's why I give you the answers. I want you to talk. We just want to increase your confidence in speaking English. But don't worry about mistakes. Sometimes you're asked questions which are hard. You may not know the vocabulary. You may not know the answer. Just do the best you can. Don't worry. Now, the places I get videos are YouTube. I also get them from news sites. Occasionally, I will take them from somewhere else. Those 2 today we did about a year ago, and I think they're quite useful because it introduces you to what you might see. You yourself, if you have a listening or reading that you would like me to discuss in class, email it. You can send it directly or email me a link, and I can do it for you. Or you can suggest topics that we've not done. So nobody's ever done this. In 10 years, nobody, not one student, has ever sent any suggestion of what we should do. So that's up to you, but the offer is there. Now, anything we do in class, it'll be posted on the university website. So usually, the materials are up there the day before, and you can look at them whenever you want to. I'll show you more in a minute. Now, you should participate as much as you can, in other words, talk. Now, you've got Pearl and Karen and one other person, I'm not sure who the TA is, but they'll help you clarify, make clear. That clarify means make something easier by translating it for you or telling you the answer. Talk, that's the main thing. Now, as regards finding things, the grading, I'll just, 1 minute, I want to put up a picture here so you know the website. Now, as I'm sure you've been told, or you may know soon, there is a website where you can look at all this. So, now that's a quick, when you log in, you'll see this. So this is today's class. I've put up, so far, we've done the housing market, and if you click on that, it'll open the page with those questions we did first today. Now, this is the first multimedia you did. We haven't done this, so I'll change this later today. And there's a business in Taiwan too. So there'll be two multimedia and no reading today. We'll do that next week. So this was put up because I just wanted to show you something. Now, all these things here, if you need Joinlet on your computer, you can download it from there. When you click that, it'll download a file that you can install to your computer. These are the contact details of Pearl and I and the TAs. Each week, the class materials will be posted here. So when you click on that link, this will show. Next week, there'll be another link for next week. And that will change sometimes because, as I say, sometimes what's here gets different to what is done in class. Assignments, there's a group assignment and an individual assignment. These need updating. It'll be done over the next few days, and I'll tell you more about assignments later. Now, student profile, part of your marks is you have to send us a short writing and picture of yourself. So as if you, like a bit like Facebook. No, we don't want too much information, but you just tell us what you're doing, you know, what your hopes are, and just a little 2 or 3 sentences. The teachers, grading, and the timetable. Now each of those is a link, and it should open. Now the timetable is flexible. So previously we used to put everything in advance. Now, for example, I haven't put the timetable up yet because I wanted to see what would happen today. So later today, the timetable will go up. Now these links take you directly. You've got a video that will open what you saw today, and the answers to the questions are in this link. And that's for the second video and answers. You've done the housing market. So that is today's material. So you can access it either here or directly under each class. And each week there'll be one vocabulary or grammar, and then a current affairs multimedia, and then a reading. That's the usual structure. Sometimes something may take longer, or you know, we may have a problem, and current affairs means I can't do them in advance. I have to do them each week. So the current affairs and reading are usually something to do with what's going on in the world. Occasionally we'll use something older. So that's the structure of each lesson, and each week there'll be something that's relevant, hopefully, to you. If you want to suggest something, as I said, you can. Sorry. Now the grading, your profile's worth 5%. Thanks, Karen. I haven't met Greg yet. The group assignment is 10%. The individual assignment is 15%. The 2 examinations of midterm and final are 25% each, and there's 20% for class participation. So in other words, your contributions in class. If you want to know how the classes are, speak to the students that were here last year. Or last semester. Apparently there's 4 of them. I'll leave you to sort out who they are, because some of them are shy. I know poor old Winnie is very shy. She loves talking, but she's very shy. Anyway, we'll talk about those. Now, this is an example of a student profile. This was a Japanese girl who was here some time ago. She just said her name, what her interests are, what her hobbies are, and what she hopes to get out of the class. This guy was from France. I don't think we've got any international students this time. I'm not sure. But he's just given a very brief account of himself. These are private. They don't get put anywhere else. They're only on the university website, nowhere else. Okay, so that's an example of a student profile, which will be made, you can follow those if you want. Now, I don't want to talk about too much detail on assignments today. I'll tell you more next week. This is a group assignment. You do it in in pairs or twos or threes. You'll be given a date. So you find a partner. You can choose anything, listening, reading, YouTube. It can be related to the lecture topics if you want, or you can do something that's your choice, anything. And you've got to do about 5 minutes each, or 5 to 6 minutes, a 15-minute presentation. It should be a Wednesday class, not a Monday. And each of you, everyone in the group must participate. And then you all get the same mark. So I mark you as I listen, and I'll email you a mark. So each person in a group, they might get, there's 20%, they might get 15%, you might get more or less depending on how good or bad you are. Now, those usually start after the midterm. It depends how many end up in the class. Some people decide after the first week they don't like it and they drop out. That's fine. And as I said, we'll talk more about that in the next week or the following week. The individual assignment, it's worth 15%. Now, again, you can talk to the people from last semester. You choose a job advertisement. I'll give you some websites you can choose. It must be in English. You've got to write an application for the job. It's got 5 bits, a copy of the job ad in English, a written summary, just a couple of dot points about what's in the advert, and then a covering letter, and you'll get some examples from me. Resume, you'll be given a template. A template is like a framework or a skeleton, and you just fill it in. And then there's a small questionnaire to answer, a graduate questionnaire, but it's a questionnaire for you to answer. Now, if you want, instead of doing this, you can have an interview. So if you want to have an interview, a job interview, you need to say what job you're going to do, and I will give you some sample questions that you answer in class while either myself or possibly Karen or Pearl or even a student may interview you, and we'll see how you go. That is an alternative. Okay. Now, the midterm and final exams, all questions are from what we do in class. There's no other questions. It's all up there, and you can study as much as you want, but all questions are from listening, reading that are done in class. So there's weekly class recordings. This is being recorded today, for example, and the TAs post all the class recordings, by the end of each week. In each exam, there's 60 multiple choice questions done in 2 hours. You get 10 on grammar, vocab, 25 reading, 25 listening. That's the usual structure. Occasionally it will change in terms of number. Okay. Are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions? No? So everybody's happy? Alice? No, Alice. Shannon? Are you happy, Shannon?
Yes.
That's very good. Thank you, Sharon. All right. Now, in the last few minutes, I usually just put up some, I call them prompts, to make you talk. So Shannon, since you're talking to me now, can you have a look at this picture? Now, read out this and then describe the picture. So pretend I can't see, I'm blind. So you read that out and you describe the picture to me. So it's a 10,000
years old rock engraving of giraffes in the Sahara Desert, Niger.
Niger, that's right.
Nigeria.
Now, what's the... Right, okay, so describe it to me.
It's a desert and...
Yep.
Sorry?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
Yep, go
desert
on.
and there's kind of drawing on the ground like giraffe, and there are 2 giraffes on the ground. Yeah, and they are big.
Yeah.
A lot of rocks.
Right. Okay, what's a desert?
Kind of landscape that doesn't have any water and ground, lots of sand.
Good. Right. Where is the Sahara Desert? What
South
continent?
Africa.
What continent?
South Africa.
No, South Africa. Yeah, Africa.
Oh.
Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, Africa. Right. What are the other 6 continents?
What
are the other 6 continents?
6 continent.
There's 7.
America.
You've got Africa.
Africa. Africa. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All 6? Oh, America, Asia, Europe, Australia, and South Pole.
North Pole. North Pole is no, the other end of the world.
Asia, Africa, America, Europe.
Begins with A. So there's Africa, South America, North America, Europe, Australia, Asia, I think it's Asia, and one more begin An. It's a cold place with no polar bears, only penguins.
Arctic.
No, the Arctic's in the north. This is in the south.
Who's South Pole? Huh?
Yeah, the South Pole's there, but it's not the South Pole. The South Pole's a place on this continent. Antarctica. Now, do giraffes live in Antarctica?
No,
Why not?
because too cold.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you. Shannon, who shall I ask the next question? You choose somebody in the class.
Alice.
Alice, all right.
There are 2 Alice. Alice
Two Alice,
Lin.
all right.
Or both Alice is
So
okay.
is it this Alice or the other Alice?
Both. You can act 2
all right.
of them.
Right. Alice on the screen now. With the glasses. What? Alice, I don't know which Alice you are.
Hello.
Alice, what's going on in that picture?
Airplane.
No, it's not an aeroplane.
Wind fan.
Yeah, so wind turbine. What's the wind turbine? What does it do?
may
Yeah, that's right.
generate generate electricity.
That's right. So the blades go round. And it generates. Now, what's the problem here with this one?
On fire.
Correct. It's on fire. Now, what's the other problem?
No one can climb up to save it.
Correct. But just read this.
Huh?
What's that? Or who's that?
Yeah, two people.
Yeah. Are they still alive?
No.
No. I think the wind turbines are about 60 meters tall. These people were working
Yes.
trying to fix the turbine. And it caught fire. And they died. Very sad.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Huh? 2013.
Yeah, what date?
November 6th.
All right. And where did it happen? Let's see you pronounce that.
Holland.
Yes. What place?
Ugensplatt.
That's very good. Ugensplatt. Thank you, Alice. Now the other Alice. Hello, Alice. Have you got a cold, Alice?
I have so
Alice,
throat.
Okay. You're not Muslim. Alice, can you read this and then tell me what this is?
A lot of box is ready to burn.
That's right. Good. A lot of boxes ready to burn. You're right. Where is it? Excuse me. Where is it?
Norway.
Good. What continent is Norway in?
North
Europe.
Yes, North Europe. That's right. Enough Europe. And what are these boxes made of?
Made of by paper.
Wood.
Wood.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you, Alice. Alice, who do I ask the next question?
Turtle.
One more, quickly.
Ivy.
Ivy. Ivy. Hello, Ivy. Hello, Ivy. Ivy, what's this?
Hello. That is a turtle.
Good. And what sort of turtle is that?
Excuse me.
Yeah, what sort of turtle? Is it a big turtle, a baby turtle,
Elephant
A big turtle.
No, it's a little turtle.
Oh. I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's all right. And he's male or female?
Female.
Right. And is its mother going to squash it?
Huh? Or maybe.
Maybe. Dinner?
Dinner.
Dinner, no.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We better stop there, Pearl.
So what kind of current affair are you going to do next week? You have any idea?
What kind of current affair would you like me to do?
How about refugee problem in Europe?
All right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a very good
All
topic.
right.
That's a very good topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Very topical.
Are you happy you are in Australia, not Germany?
All right.
Very happy. Very happy. Good thing about being an island.
Okay.
They can't get here easily.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you next week.
All right. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks.